Hello, how are you this week? Did you remember to put your clocks forward yesterday? Did you remember? British summertime started yesterday. The weather was delightful. I hope you managed to enjoy it and get out in the sunshine. I know I did. I got out and got my bare feet in the grass for a little while over the weekend, and it was just beautiful to recalibrate and recharge the batteries. It was very, very needed. So how are you? I hope this week finds you well. I hope all is good with you. Just as we get started here on the live, I just have a couple of announcements just to make, so I'll make them now and get them out of the way. For those in the Intuitive Life Design program, our weekly Zoom call, our monthly live Q&A Zoom call will be at 4 o'clock on Wednesday. So I've already notified you of that, but don't forget to submit your questions and any comments that you want to talk about on the call. For those of you not in Intuitive Life Design, feel free to join. You can join at any time and come on board and find out how to live your life more intuitively and find the joy again, which I think a lot of us are lacking. Other announcements I have for you: there's an emergency first aid training course on Friday, this Friday. I have a couple of spaces left for that, and my Reiki Master class is on Saturday the 2nd of April, and the second class of it then is on the 23rd. Now that little course is full, but there is a summer Reiki Master course. If anybody who has level 2 or above is interested, you can come and join that. So just get in touch, leave me a wee question, or send me an email if you're interested. Obviously Easter's coming up mid-April, and if you keep an eye out on Friday for the monthly newsletter, you'll find out details of any holidays that I'll be taking in closure times over the Easter holiday. And one final announcement for you, nothing to do with Rocks and Rituals, but as many of you know, I volunteer with St John Ambulance, and tomorrow night, so Tuesday the 29th of March from 7:30, we're having an open night and a recruitment event at the station, 8A Enterprise Road in Bangor. It's just up near Northdown Motors there, off the dual carriageway as you head towards Newtownards. So from 7:30 tomorrow night we are having an open night. So if you are interested, or if you've ever felt like maybe volunteering or doing something to give back to the community and you'd like to join St John Ambulance Bangor, you're most welcome to come along tomorrow night. I will have application forms. If you contact me beforehand, I can email you those so you can prep them in advance. Bring your ID and just have great fun and have a cup of tea or coffee and meet the team and just generally find out a little bit more about what it's all about. So that's tomorrow night for anybody who's interested. As I say, it's a complete tangent, nothing to do with Rocks and Rituals, but I thought I would just mention it while I was on. So, how are you feeling? Over the weekend there's been quite a lot of solar activity. I follow Elizabeth Peru, as you are no doubt aware. I refer to her quite a lot. And she has been talking about a shift in consciousness and an upshift in the Schumann resonance, which is the heartbeat of the earth. And sometimes that can leave you feeling a bit sore and a bit tired. We also have 4 cosmic bodies in Aquarius as we end the month. So we've got the Moon, Venus, Mars and Saturn all in Aquarius. So that does help us leave this month on a more positive vibe. However, you may find, if you're sensitive to energy, that you're feeling a bit tense or sore in your body, and that sometimes happens. I know it happens for me quite a lot, that my body gets extremely painful when stuff like this is happening. So that's why it was very important for me to get outside, get my bare feet in the grass, recalibrate, just generally bring healing to the body. And that's what the theme of this week is all about. It's about self-love. And it's quite funny actually, this morning, you probably can't see it, but I have a t-shirt on with a big heart and it says on it, love yourself more. And you know, when I had no idea that the cards were going to come up the way they came up this morning, or this afternoon should I say. I haven't got quite used to this hour going forward yet. I still think still a bit tired. Are you? But the theme this week's really about self-love and about letting go of burdens and diving deep into your own inner wisdom. Last week we were talking about the web of life and your connection to source, and again about having the right to stop and enjoy life and to pause and reflect and to take in the beauty of life all around you, that you didn't have to always be running, that it was okay to stop and it was okay to reflect and think about what you were putting out, because that would come back to you, to not give up on your dreams, and to just generally realize that what you're thinking and what you're creating really impacts the reality all around us. So that was last week. And the cards have followed on this week. This week I am using the Starseed Oracle. I've used these before. Lovely cards by Rebecca Campbell with artwork by Danielle Noel. And they're very lovely. This week the theme has been very much about tuning in to this need to care for ourselves a little bit more deeply. And it's something that resonates very much with me at the moment. I'll talk about that later. So the first card that came up is this card. It's We the Hathors. And it's all about deep love, mother's milk, birth as a portal, is what it says in the tiny writing at the bottom. And this has been very timely. I'll leave the card up so you can see. This has been very timely with UK Mother's Day yesterday, and it reminds us that you are a child of the cosmic mother. You're being called to be held by her deep, never-ending embrace and her love. This earth walk that we're on as human beings on this planet can sometimes be really lonely and rocky and sometimes difficult. So this card reminds us to rest more deeply in the support of the cosmic mother. It's a real potent card, really full of divine feminine energy. Asks you to touch base with your own, whether you're male or female, whatever, that doesn't matter. The divine feminine energy is within all of us, as is the divine masculine, but this card is very potent, okay? And it's asking you to really surrender to the sacred femininity. It's a card about creation and birth, to mother yourself and others, to create, surrender to your creations, to remember that you're loved much more than you know, and to trust in that web of life and that love all around us. Trust that everything will work out. If you're finding yourself maybe in a transition at the moment, where you're transitioning between one part of your life into another, or if you're going through things at the moment, just hold on and hang in there. You're in a sacred container. Remember that sacred feminine energy is a vessel. It's a container. Okay, so allow yourself to be nurtured, allow yourself to be held, allow yourself to be supported. Open your heart and surrender deep into the love within yourself. Okay. Second card that came up is the Weight of the World card. Now this card has come up before, and I know it has, and I don't know whether it's particularly a reference for myself or a reference for somebody out there. I can take it personally. I know that I am carrying an awful lot at the moment, and I have had to set some stuff down very recently, and I don't like doing that. I don't like having to stop and set things down, because you always feel like you're letting people down. However, let me put it to you this way. If you were on an aeroplane and there was a loss of cabin pressure and the oxygen masks come in, you're told to put yours on first. You have to put you first. You cannot take on all the world's problems and the problems of everybody around you with depleted energy. So you have to set really good boundaries. And that might mean stepping away from something that you maybe thought was good for you but turned out wasn't. Or maybe you have to step away from social media for a while. Maybe you have to lessen your contact with certain groups or certain people or certain things that you're finding difficult, and that's okay. It's about setting those boundaries. So the weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. What are you carrying that isn't yours? It's really difficult at this time not to feel overwhelmed by everything that's going on in the world. We have the unrest with Russia and the Ukraine. We have difficulties with rising energy costs and the cost of living. We have wars going on elsewhere in the world that people seem to have forgotten about now. We have other unrest, we have other issues. We still have the health crisis going on with COVID and all the other things that are happening in life. So there's a lot out there, and people are taking it on like sponges. Okay? So it's really important that you establish some really clear boundaries and clear energetic hygiene for yourself. Wash off what's not yours. Okay? Have a check in with yourself. What are you carrying that isn't yours? Okay? What are you carrying? The weight of other people's expectations? Are you carrying judgments? Are you projecting? Are you taking on problems from other people that aren't really yours to take? Are you saying yes when you mean to say no? So it's really important that you start to think about, okay, what can we do? What can I do to establish better boundaries? Instead of reaching for my phone first thing in the morning and consuming negative content or scrolling through social media and seeing things that don't resonate, don't do that. Set that down. Take a break from it for a little while. Or clean up your feed. Take away, unfollow things that don't resonate with you. Choose to follow more positive, uplifting content. Listen to pods that are uplifting and that give you motivation and guidance to move forward. Establish better sort of boundaries with what you're allowing in. What are you allowing into your mind garden? Okay, your diet is much more than what you eat. It's what you read, it's who you surround yourself with, it's the activities that you do every day. There's all these things that form part of your energetic boundaries around you, and it's important that you don't let things in that aren't yours to carry. So set down what you need to set down. I have been reading a couple of books this week by Rory Vaden, and he's a business coach, but he talks about multiplying your time. And it's not about time management, because that's really one-dimensional, and it's not even about the sort of urgent important matrix, because that's kind of two-dimensional. He takes it bigger and asks, how long is something going to be significant for? And it's about multiplying your time and putting it into a focus funnel. And I've spoken about it before, where he puts things in and he says, right, okay, you've got stuff coming at you. Do you actually need to do this right now? What can I do today that will buy me more time tomorrow, that will multiply my time tomorrow? What can I eliminate from my day? And quite often the things we can eliminate are the things that do damage to our energetic boundaries, the things that perhaps we're finding ourselves spending too much time in, social media groups, in scrolling through our newsfeed, in watching TV, in listening to things that aren't feeding our soul, in participating in gossip, in judging other people, in looking outside of ourselves everywhere except looking within. These are all things we can eliminate. They're not necessary. Get rid of them. Okay? If you can't eliminate things, that stuff's coming in on your workday and maybe you're thinking, okay, can I eliminate that? Email, for example, that's a big time waster. Okay? Because it's other people's priorities in your inbox. So maybe set aside time that you're only going to check your email maybe once or twice a day, rather than having it open in the background and having it ping every 2 seconds and distracting you. So there's lots of different ways you can clean up what you're taking on. Okay? And it's just worth maybe thinking about this multiply your time concept. I would recommend his books. Take the Stairs and Procrastinate on Purpose, they're called. Very, very good. I'll drop the links for them into the blog post later. Third card that came up today is the Cosmic Heart card, and again this is about self-love and also love of the cosmos. Okay, so this is about surrendering to a state of devotion, making your life a moving prayer. So it's about taking the focus from looking outside yourself for answers and pulling it in. Okay, looking deep within yourself, really understanding that divine intelligence of your inner temple, your sacred temple, your heart. Okay, and living your life in devotion to that sacred temple, doing what feeds your soul. So when you find yourself doing something, ask yourself, why am I doing this? Does this feed my soul? Sometimes we're doing things, we get caught up and we're burned out, we are really exhausted. We've taken on so many things, from other people's expectations to job roles to other things that we have said we will do. And then we realise that we're exhausted and we can't remember why we said we would do any of these things in the first place. So remember your why. Reconnect with why you want to do the things you're doing, or why, you know, that thing you want, why do you want it? What does it give you? What is it? Is it something that other people are telling you is good for you, or is it something that you know is good for you personally because you've looked deep, deep within? Okay, so turn your gaze inwards. Life flows in cycles and seasons. There's seasons for planting, seasons for harvesting. This is a season for planting those soul seeds. Okay, planting the seeds of life that will, again, as I mentioned Rory Vaden earlier, he often says, what can I do today that will buy me time tomorrow? So he's planting seeds today that will come to fruition tomorrow for him, or later the next day. So what can you do today that will feed your soul and that will then allow you to live your life on purpose tomorrow? Okay, do what makes your soul happy, not what makes other people happy. And let go of the judgment as well, judging yourself, because sometimes we judge ourselves really harshly by saying, well, if I do that, what will someone think? If I put myself first, what will other people think? It doesn't matter what other people think. It only matters what feeds your soul. You're not going out of your way to hurt anybody. You're putting yourself first. You're caring for yourself. And as we established last week, every action you take helps to feed the collective. So when you care for yourself, you're actually putting nurture and care and love into the web of life and the cosmic web, and it moves outwards. So it's definitely not selfish to do it. So just as a summary and a recap, the first card, all about the divine cosmic mother and the nurturing divine feminine energy of being in that sacred container and surrendering to that love and nurturing support. Card number 2, about dropping the weight of the world, letting go of the burdens that you don't need to carry and setting good energetic boundaries. And card 3, then leaning and surrendering into the divine wisdom and intelligence of your heart. So hopefully those cards have resonated with you this week. As always, they will be available shortly as a blog post for those who prefer to read. It'll also be available on SoundCloud as a podcast if you just prefer to listen, maybe while you're making your dinner or while you're driving the car. So you can do that as well, or it will be available here as a replay very shortly on Facebook and also on YouTube. So let me know, leave me a wee comment, let me know how you are feeling, let me know what's going on for you, if there's anything that touched you today with those cards, is there something that resonated with you? And as I said earlier, don't forget the various announcements that I made at the top of the video, that we have a St. John open night tomorrow night. Really important. If you want to come and volunteer, please come and join us. Ping me a wee message if you need more information on that. Our live Q&A for the Intuitive Life Design folk is on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Emergency First Aid at Work course this Friday, and Reiki Master Class 1 of 2 is this Saturday coming on the 2nd of April. Can't believe it's almost April. So enjoy the last few days of March. Set positive intentions for yourself, and remember to love yourself more, care for yourself more, and lean into that nurturing cosmic energy, and enjoy the sunshine while it lasts before the snow comes later in the week. So I'll speak to you all again next week. Have a fantastic week.